Yo, what's going on with all my people up out there, man? What's going on? All my awesome people out there. What's up, awesome people? It's hump day. It's Wednesday. I got a couple more days, man. Then you get to enjoy your weekend, however you like to enjoy it, man. But since you came through, hit that like button for me, man. Everybody that's been through here. If you're new here to the channel, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, man. Hit the notification bell so you get some updates when I'm dropping videos. And look, we love to have fun here. So get down in the comments, man. Let me know what you think about the video, the conversation. Let's get some started. All right. Appreciate y'all, man, coming through like that. Now, I want to clarify some things about my video that I had did yesterday on Jaden Rashada and the perspective I came from. So I looked at it from everyone's perspective in this whole ordeal because I got to talking about contracts once again. And I'm about to explain why contracts haven't came up in this sport yet in college football. I'm gonna get to that, but first, let me clarify this real quick. So I was coming from everybody's perspective, looking at it like, okay, could he be greedy? Looking at him as he wants to get his child the best opportunity. From a father's perspective, from the player, the coach, everybody, right? And we know how that's going to handle things. However, we know why. Now I have a way better understanding why on upon my research of why contracts have not came into play yet. But watch, I'm gonna get up into that. So in November of 2022, he was this is when this all started, okay? Because Jaden Rashada was supposed to go to Miami. Didn't wind up going because there was more money involved from Florida, allegedly. And so then he's like, okay, well, so I'm gonna go there. December 5th of 2022, the Gator Collective don't want to go through with it. They contact him, however that may be, via email, text message, however they did. We're not going through with it. We're done. December 6th, they send a letter to Jaden Rashada and his family, explaining why and going into detail, whatever. This is going on, right? So, and throughout all of this, allegedly he had received $150,000 from the Miami Collective and whatever they're called down there. I'm not sure the name of it. I should know better because my codes, everybody that really supports, some of my main supporters are Hurricanes fans. But nonetheless, Hugh Havecock from the Gator Collective had allegedly gave Jaden Rashada and his father the $150,000 to pay back Miami through the collective. Now, do I have any proof on that? We really don't have proof because we don't have the text messages just yet. But they were contacted, text message, email, however this goes, right? Now he is saying that he did sign some kind of contract for the 13.85 million. And I know a lot of people are like, here you are talking about contracts, and he did sign a contract, but we don't know what he signed. We don't know what he signed. And had he signed a contract, then I'm pretty sure that they would have had to go through more than just what they did. Uh, he would have had to play. At least he would have been playing at Florida, or there would have been a little bit more uprising. And I heard, and there was people reporting on this, but some people not paying attention to it and reading between the lines as they should, and saying, okay, this might be something to pick up on. Let's look into this because the polarizing Colorado and everything that goes on through the year of college football and all the players, everybody just kind of threw it like, well, whatever. We don't know if that's going to come to fruition or if that's going to blow up bigger, and it's not going to get me no clicks. So look, I'm gonna overlook it. And that's just not what we do over here on Sports with Chuck and Chubby. All right. All right. Or the fans' point of view. But anyhow, so I kind of just wanted to get up into this. And the man y'all see on y'all screen right now, y'all, that is Mark Emmert. And y'all wonder why he been on the screen. Well, he was the president of the NCAA, National the Collegiate Athletic Association. Okay. And he started being the president in November of 2010. He just retired from the position of president of the NCAA last year, 2023, in March. Okay. Now, the reason why I got him up there is because he tried to get ahead of this. And I know he's been up there the whole time while I'm talking, and everybody's like, "What's going on? Why is he up there?" Well, because for the simple fact, he tried to get ahead of this with something called a cost of attendance, like type of stipend, if you will, from cost of attendance. So the pace based on the ticket sales, everybody coming in, he wanted to try to pay the players, and it probably would have been, from what I'm hearing, somewhere close to 2,000, little over $2,000 per player, because he's seen this coming, and he was like, "Look, this is the way this is going. Y'all already paying the players. Um, we got to go ahead and do that." And I'm about to get up into that also, but so that never came up. All the schools, universities pushed back on them. No, we don't want this to happen. Blah 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 blah. The Georgia, Bama's, big SEC schools, some of the other big schools. Oh no, we're not going to be able to do what we do. We can't have that, and that's what's going on here. That's why this whole thing here right now is kind of it's like it's kind of a slide. It's kind of in your face. Like, okay, here y'all go. Y'all wanted to stop this, but y'all couldn't. I couldn't stop this. But we get to talking about this coming up on Thursday. There will be a judgment, House versus the NCAA settlement. Now, this is the settlement that is that the ACC, Big 12, and the NCAA Board of Governors, they had voted to approve it. It's like a deal that's worth 2.6 billion or north of that, somewhere in that ballpark. Um, it's a settlement for the former athletes that didn't. So pretty much, y'all didn't allow NIL when I played there. Where's my money that I'm owed? Because look, back then, I could have made X amount of dollars, and there's a couple of athletes that's missing out. And this is, like I said, 2.6 billion and more than that. We don't actually know. Everybody's like kind of guessing. So I'll say 2.6 billion and north of that. So if it's more, it's more. That's how I report it to y'all. And so yeah, these old athletes like, look, there was no NIL when I was there, and I want my cut. Where's my money at? Because y'all may have took something, because we do know they took things from some athletes, and some athletes that were very polarizing and had a big crowd. I mean, such we talking just off the head real quick. I mean, first one that comes to mind is what? Reggie Bush. Then you got Johnny Manziel. You got Cam Newton, and there's a multitude of others that should been paid, right? And there's a lot of players that were role players on teams that were impact players in college football that should have been paid also. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. And they deserve to get their share. So they agreed to settle this out of court. And look, that's because there's a lot of money to be made. And this is just bumps in the road that's stopping this from being made. And you also see the four television networks up there, right? You see Fox, NBC, ESPN, CBS up there on the screen also, because there is billions of dollars to be made off of just television deals. That the television deals, they said, look, we paying y'all to get this football. Let's get this on a roll, right? Because alone with just with the television networks, they can probably form a league, but that's what's another conversation for another day. All right. So regardless of what's going on and how they want to give this up, the schools is going to wind up paying the players. All right. And they want, because this is going to get approved, whether it's going to be next year or they settle and get this done tomorrow, Thursday, right? This is going to be done now. But you get to thinking, like, when the revenue share comes in, what happens? What are they trying to do? Well, they're trying to put a cap on that. And the revenue share, they're saying, is they're going to give 22% of the revenue share, whatever that is, the school, to pay for the players. And they want to eliminate pay for play. But we know pay for play, that's a joke. It's always been a joke, right? Because and the only way they're going to stop this and stop that kind of thing is bringing in contracts. And they don't want to bring in contracts. And I'm telling y'all right now, and I'll say it again probably a few times through this video, because they don't want to admit that they've been paying players. They've been paying for their talent all along. That's the only reason why contracts has not came in, because the schools that do not want to admit, these universities don't want to admit that they've been paying for their top talent on their teams. But we all know they have, but they just don't. They're just too high strung to say, look, okay, we've been playing the players anyway, so let's get this on contract that'll slow down the transfer portal. It'll help with a lot of things, them being sued, like the situation going on now. Jaden Rashada and his family would have been paid right now. A lot of things, and some of these players that are not getting paid, who have not come to the light, that we know there's a lot more athletes that in college football that are not coming out saying they didn't get paid because of the image that they have, you know, and they're supposed to have money, and because they're wearing jewelry and they're wearing Armani sneakers or whatever they're wearing. So they're looking like money, but they really don't have money, and they don't want to come out and say they don't have money, if that makes sense. All right. So anyway, back to this. That's all the school. That's the only reason why contracts has not came in because they don't want to admit that. We've been paying the players, but they want to ban this play for play. Like, that's a joke. Like, where's that coming from? Where is this word pay for play coming from? It's always been going on. It's always been going on. We all know it. And all y'all got to do is admit that y'all had been to the courts. So y'all can get these contracts in, because contracts is coming, whether they come sooner or whether they come later, they're coming in. That's just it. I know that for a fact now. They're going to be here sooner or later, but it's better to get it done sooner, because it'll eliminate a lot of things. It'll help so much. It'll help clean up this catastrophe that we got going on. It'll help clean it up and organize it a lot better. It'll still be chaos, but at least then it'll be organized chaos, if that makes sense. All right. So now, but and it gets you thinking. But when this revenue share comes in, back to the revenue share. When this revenue share comes in at 22%, what's some of the things, because we know they making $1 billion, a couple of $1 million a year, north of 10 million a year. University, especially if they're making a college football playoff. Whatever's going on. Because look, I mean, you got some of the superstars making NIL deals for $2 and $3, $4 million north of that, right? So anyhow, you like, it got me thinking. So there would be no more upgrades in football facilities. Meaning what? What's in a football facility? A weight room, the nutrition, the nurses they pay for, the practice field. This is all things that all the money that they were getting, now that they have the revenue share with the players, they're not going to put that stuff back into that. So now you got to take what you got. It levels the playing field, but they were putting money into redoing these places and everything else, putting heated pools and the cryo chambers and so forth. That's not going to be there no more. Eventually, it's still going to be there, but they're not going to upgrade it as frequent as they are, bringing in state of the art stuff, whatever else. What you got is what you got now. Okay, but you're getting paid. But this is some of them things that you got to think about. Okay, now we don't know if if it's going to affect this, but will this affect small things? I don't know, like the Nike sweatsuits, the Jordan sweatsuits, the cleats, the helmets, the uniforms, etc. Will that affect? We don't know if it's going to affect. I don't know, but maybe not. But people like helmets. You like a certain helmet, but will you have to pay for that now? Because you're going to have to. The universities are going to have to get some of that money back. Meaning, how is that going to come back on us, the fans? Or is jerseys going to go up? A hat going to go up? Small things that we may not think about. Are these prices going to go up for these items? We don't know. Ticket sales, are they going to go through the roof? All right. We don't know these things, but these things might come up. And now, as far as that, when you get associate athletic directors, jobs like that, out the window. Recruiting out the window, because you don't need nobody, because now you got the money. The money is going to recruit players, right? So now you need to act in more or less a GM, like in NFL, right? You're going to need that, right? You're definitely going to need that, right? So bring whoever in. I said that I believe the head coach should be more of the acting GM, is more of what they're doing now, anyhow, because they have a full staff that actually coach up their team. On game day, they're making everything and making seem like everything is running smoothly. But in reality, the offensive coordinator is calling the offensive plays, the defensive coordinator is calling the defensive plays, and the head coach is overseeing this. Would that be too much to put on a head coach? But we know that the money's going to recruit players, so that might be a job out the window. All right. Now, collectives in general. Now, I wrote down some notes. So, a collective. Now, if they try to stop a lot and they try to say, well, oh, we want to ban this pay for play, and that does happen, right? And then we know that's not happening because they may not admit that. But we know the rich OG that's around the campus that's been helping out players since forever. When they're giving up their Pell Grants and they need the money, they're going to step in. People are small businesses around the way still going to step in and still be able to name, image, and likeness step in. So you're not going to be able to stop that. So the best thing is just to admit, and so that these contracts could come in, right? Now, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I got some notes for y'all today, boy. I'm telling you, and a lot of things is going on. So if they try to stop it with that, there's just going to be more rules. Like I said, it was more court time, more civil cases. They're already dealing with multiple states, and they don't need to be dealing with nothing else. Like, so let's just get this done, and that's all that means, right? Now, so, for instance, with this whole revenue sharing thing and the collective bargaining agreement, because they're gonna have to do that. They're gonna have to come down to being a collective bargaining. They don't want to make the players or athletes employees, but they have to. They're gonna have to. It's leaning towards this way. It's just the only way that they're gonna get this done. Now, collective bargaining. This is what they're gonna have to do. They're just gonna have to, and that's when everything in like contracts come in. Free agency, because that's what this is, the transfer portal. Now, say for instance, you got a wide out on your team, star wide out, all American wide receiver, just gave him a bonus. His revenue sharing went up a little bit, but now you got a receiver in a transfer portal that we call it. Well, we'll call it college free agency, whatever. And he want to ask for way more than what your receiver all American got. But you know what he can do. He also can be an All American, but it's way more than what your receiver got. Team people, and all the reason why I'm saying that because now you're gonna need a lot of people on your staff that can handle that. Financial advisors, um, people who specialize in this area, analytics. A lot of analytics is going to come into play because if we're going to spend money on this guy, how much production are we going to get out of this player? Injuries, all this is going to come into play. But players are going to have to be accountable for a lot more. This puts a lot more responsibility on these young men and their families per se, because you can't just get the money and say, okay, now I'm not going to show up to class. I'm not going to go to these meetings. I'm not going to eat the right way, because you're going to have to take care of your body, because now, just like in the NFL, your best attribute is availability. And if you're not available because of injuries or because you're out of shape, then your stock drops. But think about this though. The money you could be the money that on the plus side, the money they could be making in college with revenue sharing and keeping their bodies intact and showing up, it only goes up when you become a rookie. So this in a way helps, because what you could be making in college and rookie. And I think it also helps too, because realistically, we know that going to the NFL is like hitting the lottery, right? For a lot, right? It just is. And now you have the opportunity, and some people have very successful college careers and not in the NFL, but now you have the opportunity to make the money in college, focus on something that's way more than a communications degree, like I always say, because I think education is the most important thing at this level. Lock in and be able to start and run and continue running your business that you already started in college, and to really lock in out of college with no debt. That's the best way. This is so sweet. But there's going to be its minuses. Now, if there's anything else that you could think of that I didn't touch on in this video, y'all let me know, because look, I think I hit on a couple of things, excuse me. I think I hit on like most of the things that there was to hit on. But look, I'm not perfect, and I'm sure I missed some things. I'm sure I missed a lot of things, and I did, and I mentioned a lot. I mentioned a lot, some of the things that players are going to be responsible for in this. But I know I'm big on contracts, and once again, I'll say it once again for clarity. The only reason why contracts have not been in is because they're trying to not make athletes employees. Collective bargaining is going to have to come in, and contracts are going to have to come in. But by that coming down, they're going to say, they're going to have to admit, we've been paying the players for their talent. They just don't want to say those words. We've been playing. We've been paying. They don't want to say that, but we know that's been going down. We know this has been going down. And I wish, and because we've seen players with their documentary saying that colleges sent them this, sent them that. We know that. However, at this time, this would be the appropriate time for more players to come out and speak about their getting paid in college, so that it's easier for these universities to say that. So it just rolls smoothly, because it's still going to be chaos, because they're trying to put together something that they're new to, trying to model after the NFL. They're new to this, but the model works. It works. The model, it works. Look, the NFL is successful. It works. Now, they're just trying to get into that, transitioning from the other guys keeping all of the money and keeping all the money for them. Now, I will say this, had they done what Mark Emmert did, they probably would have been better off, because they would have been eating in college. They're getting a little bit more change. But now you didn't listen to them. Now y'all going to be coming out $20 to $25 million per year to pay for your athletes. Yes, sir. I'll say that again. Now, universities are going to have to come out of pocket to pay their athletes $20 to $25 million per year. Yes. And they could have just said, okay, Mr. Emmert, you think we're paying all this money? We'll give them $2,000 per player, per game. Well, if you ask me, that would have been a lot better deal, but you didn't listen. He seen it coming, and y'all didn't pay attention. Now there's billions of dollars that these television companies are paying y'all to put the football product on the field. So they're gonna get that done, and they're gonna make sure that works, because y'all already under contract with a lot of these television companies, and they're gonna put the product on the field. But tomorrow, will this be done? Does the saga continues? Do they take this to trial, spend more money, get this together, or do they just come out and say, you know what? Yes, we have been paying our players for their talents. Let's bring in contracts, get some of this under control, and get it on the roll. Or will there be a lot more athletes coming out speaking on how they didn't get their NIL deals, such as Jaden Rashada and family? All right. So let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. Get down there, man. Let me know. Hit that like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Roll the commercials.
MC Truckin' shall be live with co-host Shannon. Tune in and fans' point of view. Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time. But in the meantime, in between time, enjoy the content. Don't forget to hit your notification bell for all updates. Thank you for watching.